Space Coast Challenge starts with some familiar foes. Liberty got ignited by the play of freshman Micaiah Abi, while Mississippi State's DJ Stewart will try to help the Bulldogs bounce back and look to avenge a loss in the last meeting with Liberty in the tournament 2 years ago. Space Coast consolation game next here on CBS Sports Network from the Space Coast of Florida. Home to Titan Fieldhouse at Eastern Florida State College in its 2020 Space Coast Challenge with a consolation game. Liberty, the defending ASUN champs, will take on Mississippi State, a 20-win team from last year out of the SEC. Later tonight is the championship game. Purdue and Clemson will go head-to-head. That tips at 8:30 Eastern here on CBS Sports Network. Welcome, college basketball fans. Championship and consolation games here on CBS Sports Network. The Space Coast Challenge. Dave Ryan alongside the coach, Bob Wenzel. Happy Thanksgiving, one and all. Hope it was safe for everyone out there. We had some pretty good turkey pregame, and feel pretty good about this one, right?
Yeah, I hope you don't fall asleep by halftime.
Definitely. Coach, I want to know your opinion on each team playing one game and what the coaches learned in the first game of the year.
Well, with these teams, a lot, because they have so many new players. Well, 4 of these teams are in that situation. And nobody wants to go home 0-2. So the intensity level in this game, even though it's a consolation game, is going to be very high.
Quite a headline for Liberty. And Micaiah Abi, the freshman, was a perfect 7 for 7 from the field in his first ever game and 19 points, Bob.
Well, he didn't miss any shots, either from the field, jump shots like this from the mid-range, and this one from a little further out. And he was 3 for 3 from downtown, made both of his free throws. Quite a beginning for Mackay. And Stewart is the most experienced player on this team. He was the most versatile in this game. Defensively, he did a good job. Offensively, he did a good job. 12 points, 6 rebounds, 2 steals, 2 assists. He was a bright spot in an otherwise not bright day for Mississippi State.
Last time these teams met, Coach, history for Liberty. Filling in the bracket. Flames' first ever NCAA tournament win back in 2019 against the Bulldogs. That was quite a celebration. A rematch unfolds tonight from Melbourne, Florida.
College basketball on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure.
Space Coast of Florida, home to 72 miles of beaches, including the Canaveral National Seashore, beautiful part of the state of Florida. Lineups for our consolation game for Liberty. Darius McGhee, a big game last night against Purdue, career high 21 points, averaged 9.5 points a game last year. For the Bulldogs, Tulo Smith played well in the post, 12 and 10, a double-double in his Bulldogs debut. Let's see how he fares against the brick wall lockdown pack line defense of Liberty here tonight. Ready to go from Melbourne and Titan Fieldhouse. Brett Wedginke, Chet Walker, Landon Brands are the on-court officials here for a consolation game. First of 2 games, Dave Ryan, Bob Wenzel, our entire crew, and underway as the duo of the graduate. Well, Mississippi State jumps up and wins that center jump. Bulldogs control first.
Well, Mississippi State had a very under par offensive game last night. 30% from the field, 29% at the free throw line, and really 19 turnovers in the game. So they're going to try to get the ball inside. Unfortunately, they were very inaccurate from the free throw line, 8 of 27.
Richie McKay said after last night's game, proud of how his team competed against Purdue in their size and good outside shooters, but better execution with a pack line defense will be required for a win tonight against Mississippi State as Tolu Smith scores the first point of the game. Would you agree?
Well, you know, I think that they just didn't defend. Purdue was just better. You know, they had a very good inside, outside, and of course with 7'4" players, Zach Edey was tremendous in that game, and there was nothing that the pack line defense could do against a 7'4" player with good hands and great moves. Man-to-man defense for Mississippi State. They will be tough. They will be ornery. They will be unhappy about the way they played last night. but they need to maintain against a team that is a very good ball-handling team. Last year, Liberty led the nation in fewest turnovers.
Here's Parker, transfer Henderson State, works into the corner, and Cuffee hits a three. It's a good start for preseason A-Sun Defensive Player of the Year on the offensive end for the triple in the corner.
Execution is the name of the game for Liberty. They play solid defense, and they work hard to get a quality shot. Guys know their role, although they have some new players this year. Stewart, without the ball, finds his way close to the basket, loses his shoe temporarily, but he's back in it.
Good cut and good lay-in, DJ Stewart Jr.
Two small guards, number 1 and number 2. Parker and McGhee are the two little guards here. And McGhee is a guy who shoots it from very, very deep.
Speaking of deep, here's Cuffee for 3. What a start for the defensive-minded Elijah Cuffee with a couple of long threes for the southpaw.
Well, Cuffee has more points already than he had all last night. He had 5 last night. He's got 6 already in this game. He wants to show some determination here.
Here's Ben Howland going for win number 500 in his great career. And as he told us, and you said top of the broadcast, Bob, last thing they want to do is leave Melbourne 0-2. Last night's loss to Clemson broke a 7-year season-opening win streak for the Bulldogs.
They got a lot of new guys on this team. Transfers, freshmen, graduate transfers, and they are it's going to take some time for them to get all on the same page.
McGhee
so far,
for 3. Wow. How about the start here, Bob, for Liberty from long range?
Well, they're not shy about jacking it from 3 if it's available, that's for sure.
Stewart to take, and a lefty finish. Great start for DJ Stewart Jr. of Mississippi State.
See a little determination from DJ. He was unhappy about the loss last night. Most experienced guy on this team, trying to show a little leadership here.
McGhee for 3. Wow! Darius McGhee buries a triple. Between McGhee and Cuffee, 4 straight threes hit for Liberty, and what a start from long range for the Flames here tonight in the consolation game.
McGhee had 21 last night, 4 of 14 from 3. He took 14 three-point shots, so he is not shy about jacking it from deep.
Foul call down low on Micaiah Abi as he gets too physical with Tulo Smith. Oh, called, make that road, that's his second.
Right here, coming off the screen, drive and kick. McGhee last year was a terrific player for them, leading returning scorer on the team. 21 in the game last night.
Which was a career high. Stewart Jr. baseline a miss. Smith trying to clean up for the Bulldogs. Can't get a roll. Abi, hand on the rebound. McDowell's in the game first time as Rode is out with the 2 early fouls for Liberty.
So far, Tolu Smith has had difficulty two games in a row scoring in traffic in the paint.
Tries again with the left this time off the glass and in for Tolu Smith.
Abi was afraid to get a second foul right there, so he let him slide in. 4 for 4 from three-point range already for Liberty.
Abi was incredible last night. 7 for 7, 19 points in his Flame debut. The Dallas Metroplex. And hits a shot. It's not a 3, but it's a long. And make it a 3. It is a 3-pointer on the right side. Triple City here for Liberty in Melbourne, Florida. Have hit their first 5 threes of the game. Wow.
And that accounts for all their points, obviously, with 15.
And Abi still perfect in his Liberty career. That's not going to last. Tip open in on a tremendous effort down low. How about Smith trying to improve his play in the paint? And there's a whistle. Let's see. Sort this one out.
Abi is going to get the foul right here. On the missed shot, good positioning by Smith on the tip, and he gets pushed by Abi. So that is Abi's second foul, I believe. And he's going to have to go to the bench if that's the case. He does.
1 on Abi and 2 on Rode. That's what we've got here in our stats, Bob.
Okay.
Let's make sure we track that right. But Abi is out for now.
Thank you.
And what a play from Smith a moment ago. Incredible tip. I'm not sure I've seen one of those ever, Bob, where tipping it backwards plus the foul. That's what you call an and one.
Ben Howland cannot be happy with the perimeter defense right now. The threes have been flying.
Great job to the game first time. Preston to take and rejected Smith with a big block for Mississippi State. The rejection, the run out. Stewart Jr. with the left through traffic. There's a foul called, leading us to a break. Lots of offense to begin this game here tonight. Liberty, incredible from three-point range. Flames have hit their first 5 threes.
It is raining threes on the Space Coast. Cuffee from the corner, first play of the game. Cuffee from deeper on the right wing. In. McGhee, one step further back. He had 21 last night, and a nice dish by Parker for McGee's open three. They made 5, and that accounts for all of their points in this game. Cuffee, of course, and McGhee are the two signature players on this team in terms of experience. Cuffee has won 81 games as a player at Liberty. That's pretty fantastic.
Great leader, too. Richard McKay told us a 5-star person, and that's what they like to recruit in Lynchburg, Virginia. McGhee out for now. One more free throw here for Stewart Jr. The Bulldogs hits a pair. Liberty hit 11 threes last night in their game with Purdue. Tough battle against the Boilers, scoring 77 against a team that gave up 54 points a game last year. That pack line defense can be a brick wall.
But Liberty's 11 threes on 32 attempts are pretty solid, 34%. So you're going to take a lot of threes if you can shoot 34%. It's like shooting 50% on twos.
Fouls on number 3, DJ Stewart, his first team.
DJ Stewart Jr. picks up the foul, coach, and that is his first for Mississippi State. Parker takes a seat.
Parker, first-year player. Transfer from Henderson College. Division II, plays right away. Dobbs is in. Drake Dobbs, number 0 right here, the point guard. Third point guard on this team, so he got some minutes last night as a freshman. All of these coaches trying to get some experience for their freshmen and transfers who haven't played yet in their particular team.
Little miscommunication there. Dobbs, the freshman, and Shiloh Robinson, the sophomore, getting some time for Liberty. Turns it back over to the Bulldogs.
Mississippi State hanging in despite the barrage of threes. They are not shooting threes. They're taking it to the basket, and so far DJ Stewart has been the man for them. 6'6" wing player, number 3.
Back to Liberty.
Fouls on number 35, Total Smith, his first, team second.
Smith picks up his first foul. And off the ball variety. Well, Dobbs in the offense. Rich McKay take it over here. And turns it over. Right back to Mississippi State. So a couple turnovers with Drake Dobbs, the freshman learning on the job here. Runner-up for Mr. Basketball in the state of Minnesota last year. That might earn him. Well, he's going to stay out there for now. Sometimes you see those back-to-back miscues, Coach. You go right back to the bench, but
not this early in the season.
Not this early, right?
Not when you have so many freshmen that you're trying to build some confidence in. But he's having a hard time out here. DJ Stewart.
He's not having a hard time.
Takes him off the dribble. He notices that the freshman is there, so he takes him one-on-one.
15 points for the Bulldogs, 8 from Stewart, and Smith has 7. So those two have combined for all the offense for Mississippi State to this point. As they tie it up, surviving the rain of threes, as Coach aptly put it. McDowell, corner, thinking 3 ball. It's another for Liberty. Wow. 6 up and 6 in from beyond the arc for Liberty to begin this game.
McDowell did a good job last night, even though he didn't have a bunch of points. He had 5 rebounds. I mean, he had 5 points, but he had 6 rebounds and was very, very physical in the game against Purdue.
Great play, 27 minutes. It was effective, I thought, for the Flames. Up top of 3, finally is airborne. And in for Mississippi State.
That was Jalen Johnson, transfer. He's in his 3rd school. That was a 2.
Actually a 2, yep.
Yep. A lot more offense from these two teams tonight than they had last night, especially from Mississippi State's point of view. They really, really struggled offensively last night. So let's see if they can make a big step here.
Little screen call. Another one of those. This on Abdul Adu, the redshirt senior from Nigeria for Mississippi State.
Dribble penetration and dishes is the name of the game. Cuffee to McDowell. and chalk up another 3. That is number 6 on the day for the Liberty Flames.
Recent bucket Liberty for Blake Preston, redshirt sophomore, his first points of the game here. And the Flames up by 3. Shiloh Robinson, the take and the hammer for Liberty. Right to the 10 with some determination for Shiloh Robinson.
The reason that he was able to go in like that is because all 4 of his teammates were at the 3-point line, and as a result, his drive to the basket, there was no help whatsoever involved.
Blocking foul there, coach, on Shiloh Robinson. Richard McKay was hoping for the charge call against the Bulldogs. Long range shot way off, and not close for Mississippi State.
That's open. That is open.
McGhee a miss, first time that Liberty has missed from beyond the arc. Had been 6 for 6 to begin the game here. As Stewart Jr. takes over, the lefty's been very good in 2 games here in Melbourne, Florida. Foul called, Liberty in the paint.
He has a 7-foot wingspan. He's only a 6'6" player, and he has serious-minded right now. I mean, he came into this game thinking we got to get a W here, and it's very evident that he's going to be the leader of this squad.
I thought it was interesting that Ben Howland said post-game last night he thought he played DJ too much, and that at times Stewart had put so much into the defensive side of things that his legs got tired, but he needed the minutes because they were trying to come back playing from behind all night long. Pass down low for Davis, gathers, can't finish. Adu, the strong rebound. Chance for the end one, a couple free throws on the way for Abdul Adu.
Well, that was a rebound out of his area, which are the best kind. The ones that come right to you are pretty easy. But watch him, number 24. He reaches way out of his area here. And on this, he's above everybody. That is a nice-looking rebound. 4 guys surround him, and, of course, they foul him, knowing that Mississippi State was 8 of 27 from the free throw line last night. So fouling becomes a strategy in situations like this.
Cuffee's
The problem,
first
of
foul
course,
there,
with that is that if you have some of your best players getting those fouls early, you don't want that. So you have subs in the game, and their job is to foul on the interior when they're not in good position.
Adu graduated yesterday, saw that graduate patch. First in his family to do so. Interdisciplinary studies major in Starkville. Congratulations to Abdul Adu. It's pretty cool. Hits that second free throw. Already 7 fouls. I guess that's 6 officially on Liberty here. You got 7 our stats for it. It should be 7. Got it. Pass in tight. B had that one rejected. And the run out here for Mississippi State.
Smith is handling the ball nicely. The freshman point guard so far, not turning it over at all, getting it to guys who should get it.
Tough catch for Jalen Johnson. Not sure the pass was intended for him, but he does pick up the loose change and lay it in for a second field goal.
That's good for him because he needs to be a scorer for this team. He's got 1,000 in his career, north of 1,000 from 2 schools, St. Louis and Louisiana. So he's supposed to be a scorer for this team, and he did not do that much last night.
Each team, the roster renovation from last year, lots of changes. A B up top, long range 3, and a miss off the back iron.
I like that, roster renovation. That is a good term, and we're seeing a lot of that in college basketball right now.
Out of bounds off the leg of Abdul Adu. It's turned over to Liberty. Flames get the rock back when we return to Melbourne, Florida.
DJ Stewart, he's moving without the ball. DJ Stewart, he's moving with the ball. And he has taken over this game. The pull-up jumper from there, 8 points so far, 3 of 4 shooting. And the best player and most versatile player on this team has come to play this evening, that is for sure. Last night, also, Dave, he had 12 points and 6 rebounds, a couple of steals, a couple of assists. Most well-rounded guy on Ben Howland's squad.
He and Tolo Smith, coach, each had double-figure scoring in last night's game. On the bench for now, but man, he's playing well. 8 points, 3 of 4 shooting so far. A couple free throws for Stewart Jr. Cuffee had the early threes. Penetrates this time. McDowell pump fake. Step back 3 on the way. rattles out everything but go down.
Notice the miss on that day because they ran at him and they made him readjust. They ran at him and jumped. Nice pass here.
Great feed to Smith, and he finishes for 2.
Interesting, running at the three-point shooter, make him what we call get off his spot. And that's what they did right that time, and made him miss.
Novak rushed him just a bit. Parker, he'll drive to the basket for 2. The D2 transfer from Henderson State in Arkadelphia, Arkansas, has his first bucket.
Arkadelphia, I like that. He is a scorer, averaged 15 a game for Henderson.
Miss from Smith. Javian Davis, offensive rebound, fresh 20 for Mississippi State.
Davon Smith, point guard, number 5 with the basketball. Cerebral type, not looking to score really, trying to get his teammates involved and doing a pretty good job in this game. High-low action. That's what you want when you got 2 guys 6'10" in the 260 range. Nicely done right there.
11 points, coach, for Smith on 4 of 5 shooting, so second straight double-figure scoring game for Tolu Smith. And he is establishing himself, you're right, with some power and authority at the low block.
Yeah, and he was 12 and 10 last night, right? So 2 double figures scoring. Transfer from Western Kentucky.
For a shoot, McDowell kicked it out, and foul call. Bailout call, no question about that. Tomorrow for Eastern, more college football action as the Battle of Michigans will take place. It's MACtion, Bob. There's nothing like little Mid-American Conference football. Central against Eastern. Tomorrow at 4 Eastern, presented by Geico here on CBS Sports Network. Chippewas and the Eagles head-to-head.
Do you know every mascot of every college in the country?
In the FBS, yes.
You do.
College basketball, sometimes, you're getting into the mid-majors. I mean, I had to look up Henderson State for D2 for the Reddies. R-E-D-D-I-E-S. I've never heard of the Reddies before. That's something new. He handles here right on cue with 10 to shoot for Liberty.
Spread out, 2 guys in the corner. This is NBA stuff right here. 2 guys in the corner and 3 guys playing pick and roll out front in the middle third of the court. That is right out of the NBA playbook.
Good 2-man game, pressing the finish with a jam. Up top, way off that time from DJ Stewart Jr. Look at Smith, another rebound, the hustle on the baseline. Kicks it out for Davis, his shot from long range is off, and the rebound for McGhee.
That is not a good quality shot. Davis should not be shooting the ball from out there. He's 6'9", 245, transfer from Alabama. Needs to be close to the basket.
Cuffee to take, but can't get the 2. Preston the rebound, kicks out, Parker up top. Can't find the range. Look at Preston, offensive glass, fresh 20. Parker tries again, and misses again for Liberty. He's not shy. Here's the run out for Stewart Jr. No finish on the fast break.
Wow. That should have been a dunk. That was an excellent drive and pass by Smith, and Stewart just muffed it.
I had my dunk call ready to go, bud.
Came right out of his hand.
Cuffee will drive, lefty runner, and he gets a roll. Elijah Cuffee for 2.
I really like the offense that Liberty runs. I mean, they spread the floor out. Sometimes there's 5 guys on the perimeter. Sometimes there's 2 guys in the corner and a little pick and roll and pick and pop at the high post. They really allows you to drive the ball to the basket. Let's take a look at this. Do you like dunks? Do you like threes? We've seen plenty of threes. How about this play? Nice. Excellent execution.
Flames by 4 when they get back to Lynchburg. Brand new arena, Bob, called the Liberty Arena. They moved from the Vine Center next door. This new building is going to tip $4,567 million. Just completed recently and ready for the new season. Wow. And look at that. I love the size. Rich McKay told us he wanted it smaller. So it's more of a hot ticket in demand in the Lynchburg area. You can fill that up, of course, after things are safe. No fans allowed for now.
Wow. That is a beautiful, beautiful looking place. Nice. Very nice.
Nice
And they open it next week, right?
They do. Grand entrance along University Boulevard in Lynchburg. Had a chance to go there last year and call the A-Sun Championship on radio with Steve Wolf. It was a blast. They closed the Vine Center, won their 30th game in the 30th and final year of the Vine Center. It was all fitting. It was a good Hollywood script as Stewart Jr. hit.
Stewart's pull-up is really, really good. And he should be doing that more. And he'll do it in the SEC because when you dribble into the paint, there's a lot of bigs in that league that will come and meet you at the rim. So that pull-up jumper is going to do well for him in conference play as well as in a game like this today.
Parker drive to the basket. Lefty runner can't finish. Smith another rebound. Smith 11 points. Stewart 10. So 21 of the 26 have come from the two Bulldog Stars. Smith reverse layup. Baseline. No foul. I'll give you a step on the line.
No, I think he got fouled, and he made a good move, but it was a tightrope right there. They double-teamed him, and they double-teamed Williams from Purdue very well yesterday. Watch this double-team. They come hard, and he spins along the baseline. If you're the guy, number 20 right there, McDowell, you should put your foot on the end line. So if he goes that way, he's going to charge into you. Can't let him have an inch along the baseline.
One more free throw for Smith. Bulldogs 6 of 8 from the line here, Bob, so far tonight. As you talked about, 8 of 27 in that first game last night. Ben Howland said after the game he's never seen anything that bad. He said it was atrocious free throw shooting. And yes, our team practices regularly. And for some reason we couldn't hit free throws last night. He said, look, we shoot that badly from the line again, we're not going to win. We should expect to win a game.
That's right. No doubt about it. Trying to get his group fired up right now. Wants the D. Stay in front of your man. Guard the three, and they do it.
Steal. Smith. Blocked. Preston. Good recovery. And Stewart Jr.'s got it. Whistle stops play. 60 to shoot here for the Bulldogs in this possession. Let's sort this out. We have a shot clock issue here at the Titan Fieldhouse in Melbourne, Florida.
Well, right then on that possession defensively, Mississippi State got after it, and Richie McKay's got to be concerned about that situation. Their defense is looking pretty good. This is a well-played game by both teams that lost last night. It's great to see kids playing. Doesn't reset. Right here, terrific block right there, I'll tell you that. Yeah, and it stopped, and then it skipped. Wow. It did a lot of things wrong there. I was keeping my eye on the right-hand side where the shot clock was. It skipped 5 seconds. We had some issues yesterday with the shot clock as well.
We'll get things straightened out. While we have a moment, we want to congratulate everyone in Melbourne at the Titan Fieldhouse, everyone with Eastern Florida State, Triple Crown Sports, Andy Hansen, his great staff for putting this event on with so much and so difficult a process with health and safety. All of the COVID tests have come back negative for the TV crew, for their crew, their officiating crew, and all the players who have been tested every day, and the teams and coaches and their entire staff. So just an amazing job to make sure everyone's been safe, socially distanced. See the glass up there between the players, on-court officiating crew, and the court. Safety first, and they've done a great job with it. So well done, guys.
Trying to get it inside. Double post with Smith right here.
Smith passing this time. Stewart Jr. can't finish with a right out of bounds to Liberty.
Wow, shooting with his off hand that far away from the basket. That was a weird looking shot. The inside players for Liberty, even though they're not super tall, are very physical players, well-schooled defensively on how to play post people. And Preston, of course, the best among them, number 32, is really terrific. We saw a sequence before when he got 2 offensive rebounds in a row. He was guarding Travion Williams of Purdue, who is a first-team All-Big Ten player and doing a great job yesterday. He is really solid.
First foul, coach, on Cameron Matthews of Mississippi State, and 5 team fouls. There's steal. And Smith, the theft, the spin, and the lay-in for Davon Smith.
And those are the kind of shots that he should be taking. Remember, just a moment ago, he made a steal right where the ball is now. Then he does it on this side of the floor as well. defense is pretty impressive for a freshman.
From Loganville, Georgia, top 70 high school recruit nationally last year. Long shot, top of the key. Wow, how about the range for McGhee?
McGhee, like Seth Curry, who was a player at Liberty before he transferred to Duke, takes pride in the distance of his threes. I mean, he shot some deep ones yesterday as well.
7-3, first half for Liberty, and 3 of those belong to Darius McGhee. Adu finishes.
Just overpowered him right there. Shiloh Robinson was no match for him on that particular play.
No 0.7 rebounds for Adu against Clemson here last night, second semifinal. McGhee drives over Adu at 6'10", and the teardrop good for Darius McGhee.
That's pretty good by McGhee. Adu is a guy who has blocked 182 shots in his career, and he went straight up on that, and McGhee just floated it over him.
Double figures for McGhee. Two-man game. Look at Adu up and away with a hammer. He gathers and dunks.
Boy, yesterday he was invisible in the game. Got a few rebounds, but really didn't do much offensively. And right here, doing a little bit better job in that area.
Also, long-range three, a miss there for Shiloh Robinson off the back iron, and a foul called. Recovery defense on Preston.
Fouls on number 32, Preston, his first, team time.
Adu, 6'11", 245, rolls here, and nice hands on the bounce pass. Usually you want that pass up higher to a player of his height. It's easier for them to handle. Sometimes a bounce pass makes them smaller. And he did a good job there, even though he rolled to the basket a little slowly than I'm sure Ben Howland would have preferred.
Smith in front of the 1-and-1. One more here for Davon Smith, the freshman.
Well, Adu and Tolu Smith are the two guys that are going to be the 5 and 4 men starters for this team during the course of the year. And Adu is a more defensive-oriented player, and Smith is a more offensive-oriented player, number 35 right there. So that should be the combination that gets them good stuff going in this game as well.
Smith hits 2. Ben Howland telling us this week he really is hoping Davon Smith will have a great season. So many new faces, new places for Mississippi State.
Did you just see that graphic? 9 of 11 from the free throw line tonight. 8 of 27 last night.
A lot better. A lot better. I'm sure Coach Howland's pleased about that.
First game jitters maybe a little bit, huh? Last night.
So. He couldn't explain it last night. Nope. McGhee, deep three again, launching this time. Too strong, heel the rim. Smith another rebound.
Long threes like that tend to have long rebounds when they miss. So usually it's guards rebounding. They have to, the big guys can't get to them sometimes.
12 points, 5 boards. Tolu Smith thinking about a second straight double-double in Melbourne. They're feeding Adu a lot, has been active in this game. And it's out of bounds. Mississippi State ball when we return to Melbourne, Florida. Space Coast Challenge consolation game. Bulldogs by a bucket. Coming up on AT&T 5G at the half, college basketball news and notes, halftime stats and highlights all coming your way from here in Melbourne, Florida. Cross state at Fort Myers today. Gonzaga beat Kansas, coach 102-90 in a shootout, and Suggs, Timmy, and Kispert were pretty effective, weren't they?
Oh, I'm telling you, they are men, and I mean, they score in a heartbeat before you can even look. They're down the floor. They are physical, and it's interesting. I mean, they are clearly number 1 in the country. Great game today. This is a good one, too, right here. We got a tight one between these two teams that lost last night. I love the heart that they're showing in this game. I like the way the coaches have prepared their teams to get ready for a consolation game. As Stewart finishes there, he's been the star of the game so far for Mississippi State. Liberty's threes early, and they will continue to shoot those threes throughout.
Stewart Jr. a dozen. Cuffee trying for another 3. Rattles around and dropped for Elijah Cuffee, who's got 3 threes tonight. McGee's got 3 triples, and they keep on raining here in Melbourne. It's a beautiful day. No rain in the forecast here in the Space Coast, but man, raining threes here tonight at Titan Fieldhouse.
Big part of their offense. They're going to shoot at least 30 in this game, maybe more.
Johnson
at the push off.
Liberty bench pumped up.
Nice help side defense, and guys clog the lane. You've referred to the term pack line defense that was made famous by the Bennetts, Tony at Virginia especially, and lots of guys around the basketball right here when you dribble into the lane.
First foul on Johnson. Just under 2.5 to go in our first half here from Melbourne, Florida. Parker on the drive. The D2 transfer is fouled on the way up.
When you see small players drive the ball into the basket and there's no help there, that's because of the three-point shooting of Liberty. And it's such a threat. Big guys pull away from the basket, so the shot blockers aren't there when small players come into the lane. Rarely is there help there. So by design, Richie McKay's got his small guards driving into the lane, but it's not available unless you're making threes, and they are making threes in this game.
One more free throw here for Chris Parker, coach. 1 out of 2. Adu has the rebound for Mississippi State. All tied at 37. Much different game than we saw last night for both these teams.
Yeah, both playing much, much better, don't you think?
Absolutely. I'm with you. Liberty was just outclassed by a really good Purdue team last night in the first game, and the Bulldogs just didn't play well, didn't shoot well. If they had free throws, as Ben Hallam pointed out last night after the game, look, it's a one-possession game late.
Yeah,
They just couldn't do it.
That's right.
Cuffee for McDowell. 3-ball. Too strong this time.
You notice when they take the threes, though, guys get all the way back, and very rarely do you get a run out against them. When they don't go to the offensive glass, all 5 guys are back, and you have to play against their set defense.
It's emblematic of the pack line, right? Richie McKay told us that on our Zoom this week. Matthews gathers awkwardly, baseline. That's out of bounds.
That was a little bit ill-advised right there. I mean, you know, that pass, maybe Michael Jordan would have had it, but that was way, way too high. Matthews is a good athlete right here, but I mean, he is under the basket already when the ball gets there, so there's no way he could have made a play on that.
Maybe Michael Jordan, you're right. Parker kicks out. McGee's had a great first half, as has Cuffee, but this time lost the ball. It's turned over.
2 most experienced guys right there mess it up a little bit. McGhee and Cuffee are the leaders of this team. Both played a lot last year. McGee's a junior, Cuffee's a senior.
Caleb Holmesley, the ASUN MVP. Scotty James, first team All-League. Georgie Pacheco, all-time leader in wins as Liberty player. Mayo Baxter-Bell, all gone from last year's Liberty team. Foul down low. So it's a big change in Lynchburg this year.
Indeed. A big change in personnel, but the same philosophy. So it looks the same when you look at them and you say the things that they're running are the same things they always run, and the defense is the same way they always play. But obviously, it's a matter of talent, whatever system you happen to be using. But they have a program right now, and they recruit to that program, and I think things are going extremely well for them. Yes, indeed.
Look at that, last 2 seasons just behind Gonzaga, as we told you, beat Kansas today. That says something. Defense was tops in the nation a year ago. Points per game allowed, just fabulous.
Turnovers also, right?
Yeah, I mean,
fewest turnovers.
A lot of big numbers, and is it a maybe not so well-kept secret anymore what they're doing at Liberty?
Oh, I think everybody in the basketball world knows about it. I mean, it's going to be tough for them to get games against big Power 5 teams. Nobody's going to want to play them. Atlantic Sun also, they moved from the Big South to the Atlantic Sun. They've won the regular season and the conference championship 2 years in a row. So they are in a very, very good place right now.
Bulldogs by 2, 11 of 13 for the line after going 8 of 27 from the free throw line last night. Big change, and already 39 points. They really struggled last night, scored 42 points the entire game against Clemson. McDowell up top, hits a 3.
That was a miscommunication by 2 players of Mississippi State. They dropped back too far. Nobody stayed with the shooter.
Back in 30 seconds. Timeout here in Melbourne. All right, Bob, 32.3 seconds left. Ben Howland going for his 500th career win here tonight. What's he talking about with his Bulldogs?
Well, you know, he just wants to get a good shot right here. He's got to be pleased with the way his team has bounced back from yesterday, and they're playing much better. Their defense has been solid, and offensively, especially the person of DJ Stewart right there in your picture has been the key guy here. They just want to get a good, solid shot, and they don't want to give up the ball too soon and let Liberty get their hands on the ball. So they take the last shot with a few seconds to go and an opportunity to go to the offensive board. So Stewart's going to go one-on-one. You see the two big guys close into the basket. Their responsibility is to go in and try to get a tap on any kind of miss.
Game clock, shot clock, 1 second differential, 7 to shoot. Stewart Jr. got 12 already. Smith has 12 also. Hits from the free throw line.
Solid.
End of the half. Great final possession to end the opening 20 for Mississippi State, Bob.
Let's look at the execution, shall we, Dave? Right here, driving into the lane. The easy jump shot right there. And Tolu Smith is looking much, much better in his second game than he did in his first game yesterday. Nicely done by both teams. I like this game. Good pace, 41-40 at halftime. Love it.
26 combined points and 10 of 15 shooting between DJ Stewart and Tolu Smith. Coming up, AT&T 5G at the half here on CBS Sports Network. Halfway home consolation game in Melbourne, Florida at the Space Coast Classic on Thanksgiving Day. Tight one between the Bulldogs and Flames.
CBS Sports presents AT&T at the half. AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure.
And college basketball coach is back. We're glad it is.
Oh,
it's Thanksgiving
fantastic.
time, the end of November, and what a great time of the year, certainly. And across the state in Fort Myers today, a pretty big game going on with Gonzaga head-to-head with Kansas.
They were number 1 and 2 last year going into the tournament, and Gonzaga won that game today. It was an awesome. I mean, it was a game of men. I mean, 102-90 was the score, and I watched the whole thing. It was awesome to see.
Possible Final Four preview. Let's see, maybe. Well, one thing we know about Wichita State will have a major change with their program. Greg Marshall is out resigning, coach, and you know him well. Were you surprised?
When I heard about all the things that had happened, it wasn't surprising that it was going to be investigated. He's obviously been extremely successful, took them to the Final Four, has been very, very successful in terms of winning. I'm sad to see that kind of thing happen in college basketball.
Some history made with a top 20 recruit, as well as McCord Maker makes his debut for Howard as he goes to an HBCU. That's a big headline in college basketball.
No doubt about it. I mean, he was wanted by all the big blue bloods and decided to go to Howard, and it'll be interesting to see what kind of impact he has in his year there.
COVID effect, well, delaying the start of the season for a lot of big-time programs. Coach Drew, unfortunately, testing positive for COVID-19. So Baylor, Duke, Florida, Oklahoma, among many others affected, and some surprises in day one.
How about the Georgia 4 overtimes, 125 points? That was awesome. And then, of course, on the West Coast, San Diego State defeats UCLA. I'm not sure how much of a surprise that is. San Diego State, very, very solid team. Vic Cronin was not happy after that game, the UCLA coach.
Was that college basketball or the NBA with those two? Amazing. And such a sad story just before the start of his 5th season leading the Skyhawk program at UT Martin. Anthony Stewart passes away at age 50. Certainly will be missed among all those in college basketball. We've got more coming up from Melbourne, Florida, as the Space Coast Classic rolls on here in Brevard County. Welcome back to the AT&T 5G halftime report here in Melbourne, Florida, in the Space Coast Classic. Looking forward, Bob, to watching the championship game tonight between Purdue and Clemson. And this young guy, Zach Edey, was incredible in his debut.
No doubt about that. 7'4", and he was fantastic in this game. 5 dunks in the game, just one shot the entire game. Great beginning for his career. On the other hand, we have P.J. Hall, who was spectacular for Clemson. He was their leading scorer in his first game, and his teammates love him.
between the two, 14 and 16, Bob, from the field and 29 points. Pretty good first game, I'd say, for those two freshmen in their careers. Purdue beat Liberty by 13, first semifinal. Then Clemson in a slugfest, defensive-oriented game, beat Mississippi State 53-42, setting up our championship game later tonight here at CBS Sports Network as Purdue takes on Clemson. Can't wait to crown a champion in Melbourne, Florida, later tonight. Much more coming your way. Second half is next here from Brevard County.
Thank you for watching AT&T at the Half.
Space Coast Challenge, Melbourne, Florida, Titan Fieldhouse, Eastern Florida State College campus. A one-point game getting ready for the start of the second half. Happy Thanksgiving, one and all, and welcome back. Dave Ryan alongside the coach, Bob Wenzel. Well, big improvements for each team in major categories. For Mississippi State, free throw shooting was abysmal in their game last night against Clemson, 8 of 27. And three-point shooting, a struggle for Liberty against Purdue, but they really got it going from beyond the arc.
Yeah, and it's been a contrasting style of play. There's no doubt about that, which is very interesting because the score is about even. The Flames, their strength is three-point shooting. They made the first 5 that they attempted in this game. Cuffee got involved very early, and McGhee, of course, is going to make a bunch of these. He was 4 of 14 the other night, but the whole team gets involved, and when they are making them, the drives to the basket are available. Mississippi State is just the opposite. Get the ball to the paint. Stewart right here on the dribble, either all the way on the pull-up, has been their best offense in this game. And, of course, Tolu Smith close to the basket there, and a wonderful, wonderful tip right here by him. So inside versus outside in this game. Let's see what happens in the second half. Take a look at the final first half stats. The second line is the most imperative. That's what we're talking about. 9 of 17 threes for the Flames, 0 for 3 for Mississippi State. And you mentioned it, 11 out of 13 free throws for the Bulldogs, only 1 of 2. When you take a bunch of threes, you're not going to get fouled much, so you got to make the threes because you're not going to get to the free throw line.
Bulldogs scored 42 points the entire game last night against Clemson in the semifinal to open up the Space Coast Challenge, and 41 first half points. They have flipped the script. Is it just the free throw shooting, Bob? Why else have they been so effective offensively?
Well, I think DJ Stewart is the leader of this team, and right from the very beginning, he took it on his own to get everybody involved. And I think that his performance early in this game lent confidence to the other players on this team. Keep in mind now, Dave, and you know this, I mean, Mississippi State has a bunch of guys who never played there before, whether they're freshmen or they're transfers. They got to get some chemistry going, and the chemistry is much better tonight than it was yesterday.
Halftime adjustments, Bob, you know a lot about that. Well, all your experience as a head coach, Rich McKay and Ben Howland. What are you thinking about looking into the second half now?
Well, I think both teams our coaches are satisfied with how they played early, and I think McKay is just going to run his normal stuff. They're going to take a bunch of threes in the second half. Ben Howland is going to do his normal stuff, and I think defensively, I think McKay will double team in the paint more and try to get the hands, the ball out of the hands of DJ Stewart as much as he can.
Last time these teams met, let's flash back. 2019 NCAA Tournament. Liberty had never won an NCAA Tournament game in school history until this game. Flames take it. Caleb Holmesley, Mile Back Rebel, and company, along with Elijah Cuffee, able to get it done against the Bulldogs, and it was time to celebrate because Liberty had won its first ever NCAA Tournament game. And look at the dancing for Rich McGhee. All those Flames are pumped up in the locker room as a 12 seed over the 5th-seeded Bulldogs to open up the 2019 NCAA Tournament. No tournament, of course, last year. Liberty with the ASUN Tournament Championship, as Bob mentioned, won the ASUN regular season and tournament championship for a second straight year. Richie McKay, Bob, told us this week in our Zoom call there was nothing more disappointing in his entire career than 4 days after winning the ASUN tournament over Lipscomb to tell his team, his players who were in tears, no tournament, no NCAA tournament for you this year, no big dance.
Yeah, and I think that was a common theme all around college basketball last year. They were a good example of it because they were the Cinderella darlings. People had thinking that Liberty would have won a couple of games in the tournament. And all over the country it was like that. Bill Self was talking about that today, preceding the game that they played with Gonzaga and how disappointed his team was last year about that. So very, very difficult situation all over the landscape of college basketball about that.
Ready to go here, half number 2. In Melbourne, Florida, Titan Fieldhouse. The winner takes the consolation game. Loser goes home 0-2 to resume this brand new 2020-2021 season. There's so much uncertainty due to COVID. It's just great to see college basketball back.
Well, we got some smiles coming into the second half right here. Mr. Parker's getting ready to get going, and the guy who was great yesterday was number 24, Abi, and he was not the big factor in the first half at all in this game.
3 points for Abi in the first half on 1 of 3 shooting. That's it. Parker the handle here, 10 to shoot. The initial possession of the second half. Almost lost it. Here's Abi right on cue trying to get going second half and does so. Must have heard Coach Wenzel hit the 3.
Take that, Coach. I'll tell you what, I mean, this guy is going to be very, very good in the Atlantic Sun. I don't think there's any doubt about that.
Another 3 hit for Liberty. That's been a big theme of their consolation effort so far. Tie up there with Tolu Smith down low. Good defense and help from Liberty. Possession of Mississippi State. Abi for 3. He's got 2 threes in the game so far here tonight. And Liberty by 2. Inbounds play. Stewart Jr. can't connect. Baseline. And a weak side rebound for Parker.
Spread the floor, drive it.
McGhee baseline. Lefty pass. Cuffee lefty shot. Rattles out from 3. On the right side, Tolu Smith, long rebound, and the run out for Mississippi State. Davon Smith, some miscommunication with his big man, and it's right out of bounds and turned over.
Well, he's been pretty solid this game so far with his judgments, and his defense has been stellar. Several steals, lots of pressure, and keeping sometimes Liberty out of their stuff. But offensively, mostly a layup guy.
Parker the handle, the D2 transfer at the top of the key. He's watched by Davon Smith, under 10 to shoot. Pass errant, Cuffee regains. McGhee, deep corner, 3 for Liberty. How about Darius McGhee from long range?
I mean, he barely caught that and launched it at the same time. What a great play by McGhee. Before the game, he was practicing threes like from 30 feet. And his range is unlimited. Anytime he's in the area of the space post, he'll be jacking it. Nice, nothing but net. Nothing but the bottom. Darius McGhee is going to be an all-conference player in the Atlantic Sun this year. That is for certain.
Talk about a quick release, Bob. I mean, he was trying to beat the shot clock buzzer, and he got it off very quickly. He's got 4 threes tonight, 3 for Cuffee. He had 14 points for McGhee.
Stewart's been a great player in this game, and he's got to be good for them all season long.
First free throw miss of the game for DJ Stewart. Got 13 points so far tonight. Cuffee, corner, 3 ball. Airborne has another one. Elijah Cuffee has 4 threes. Darius McGhee has 4 triples. And Liberty in business, up by 7 thanks to the long-range bombs here in Melbourne tonight.
The thing is, with three-point shooting, they come and they go. You start making them and you get a big lead, but if you miss a couple, they get a run out, they get right back in it, and that's been the story. Look at this. That is deep.
You weren't kidding around about the pregame warm-up, too. He was way out. Incredible range of three-point lines. You got high school, women's, and the men's college level. Eastern Florida State College here in Melbourne. 3-3 second half, Liberty. 5 to shoot. Abi passing. Preston gathers and is fouled with 1 to shoot for Liberty.
Nice play by a B right there to get the ball into Preston. I like the two of those post players together. It gives them some physicality, and with a B's outside shooting, it lets Preston roam close to the basket like he does right here, and he gets an opportunity at the free throw line. B is a player. I mean, Richie McKay talked to us about that. That was the first name that he mentioned in our Zoom call before this tournament began. And he said, "You're going to really like this kid." And I said, you are right about that. After watching him last night play the entire game and missing 0 shots. And he's going to yo-yo him here a little bit. You know, get him in, get him out, make sure he doesn't pick up more fouls, because he's, as a young player, especially against a team that's inside-oriented like Mississippi State, he's liable to pick up some fouls.
Only a 2-star recruit in the Dallas area. We were talking about that last night, big theme of our conversation during the first game for Liberty. Who did the evaluating system on this? The high school recruiting evaluations on Micaiah B. They certainly missed it. Good hustle on defense again for Liberty. Turned over. Kyle Rode gets it done with a pack line defense.
Yeah, Rode is one of those physical players. I mean, he is a very, very important player for this team with their inside rotation. He can play with Preston, or he can play with Abi as the 4 guy. Very, very physical upper body and tough defensively. Creates a lot of turnovers when you try to get into the paint. Smart defensive player.
Flames enjoying the largest lead of the game here, Bob. An 11-1 run, 3+ minutes for Liberty. Parker trying to get involved offensively. The pass from Preston. Rode handles. Here's Parker. Nice through traffic, lays it in.
You know, Liberty, when you're watching them here and you're watching both of these teams, they have more ways to score than Mississippi State. They are more balanced offensive team in terms of personnel and more balanced in terms of inside-outside. Small guy taking it into the lane against the big trees. Nicely done by Parker. Liberty made 9 threes in the first half, and it's not changing in the second half. This is a big part of their offense. 3 for 5 to begin the second half, and that's why they have the cushion that they have right now. 3 different players, 3 different shots. Cuffee, of course. There you go, 9 for 17, 3 for 5, and only 0 for Mississippi State on 3 attempts in the entire game so far. So contrast in style, big time.
11 threes the entire game last night, and 12 tonight already, with 60 minutes to go in regulation for Liberty. So the script has been flipped for each side in some key categories, but largest lead now to 11, and it's out of bounds. And head the other way for Liberty. That defense is tightening against Tolu Smith and Mississippi State. It's all about the pack line defense in Lynchburg, led by head coach Richie McKay. The Bracket Space Coast Challenge, Titan Fieldhouse here in Melbourne, Florida. Purdue Clemson championship game. Bob, can't wait, right?
Oh, I'm fired up about that one. I mean, the 2 freshmen for those 2 teams have had ubiquitous starts to their college careers, and we're going to see both of them, PJ and Zach, in that game.
Great word, by the way. That's a good one. Gonna have to add that. Stewart Jr. drives, then Hags hits with a left hand. DJ Stewart, Bob said, has got to be key for the Bulldogs. He's got 15 tonight.
It is such an interesting game. I mean, the contrast in style is dramatic in this game, and I'm not sure you're going to see a lot of games where it's so different. Mississippi State is an old-style team. Everything is pounding it inside and not shooting many threes, and Liberty's just the opposite. I mean, they are jacking threes like crazy. They look like an NBA team with their style of play, and they're going to shoot probably 40 threes in this game.
8 points for Preston, Bob. Converts again down low. On that high-low play, good half-court offensive execution for the Flames. Up 11, and a foul call. Preston too aggressive away from the basket.
Yeah, he tried to, you know, he didn't want to go laterally. He wanted to prevent Smith from turning the corner, but as a result, picks up the foul.
2 fouls, Blake Preston, 2 team fouls for the Flames, and a B is right back in. So I'm curious, when you have back-to-back games, Bob, and you're a coaching staff, let's say for Mississippi State, and you watch a B be so effective hit all the shots. What's the scout? How do you try to defend a guy like that the next night?
Well, you got to talk about the fact that he's not only a back to the basket close in. You know, he's a guy who faces up and shoots. So your big people have to be ready for that. They can't just lay off him because he's going to make those mid-range jump shots. So scouting report on how he gets his points is important.
Davon Smith in the corner hits a long shot.
That's unusual for him, and unusual for Mississippi State too. They could use some three-point shooting, and I mean, that was really solid there. But still, they got a lot to make up right here. I mean, plenty of time, obviously, in this game.
First three of the game for the Bulldogs. Davon Smith had 2 points last night in his first career game for Ben Howland. 8 to shoot for Parker. Crossover in the corner, a B. Deep shot hits for Liberty. I'm sure impressed.
Yeah, it's very, very impressive. That's the travel right there. You can't switch your pivot feet when you put it on the ground. B is going to drift into the corner. Big guy guarding him. And as a result, he's going to get a wide open shot right here. Notice the help right there by Adu, and he's late getting to the shooter. You can't help when you're guarding a guy who's a threat to shoot three. You got to let the guy drive to the basket and take that instead of taking the three.
3 threes for Micaiah B in this one. Post up this time, left of the lane. Back in on Smith, height advantage there. McDowell long shot on the right side. Back iron miss, Rowe the rebound, fresh 20. McDowell loads up again, but can't splash it from long range. Smith for Smith. Double team, too strong. And a loose change pulled down by Keegan McDowell, the redshirt junior, who last year sat out, took a redshirt year in the middle of his career, which is rare. But with that loaded, stacked team Liberty had, they didn't really need him. And now he's at a definitely key role. I thought he played well here last night. A lot of minutes, Keegan McDowell. As Dobbs drives in, good feed. A B, chance for a three-point play, can't convert, shoots 2 free throws for Liberty.
He had a mismatch the entire team. He had the point guard, Smith, guarding him close to the basket, and that is a clear mismatch. A nice dish right here by Dobbs. So 2 free throws coming up for a B.
First trip to the free throw line for Micaiah Abi. A freshman at 6'7", 220, Frisco, Texas, the Dallas Metroplex. Most points, as we talked about, the big game, 19 minutes and the 19-point effort against Purdue since Seth Curry had 23, Bob, in 2008 for Liberty.
Well, he's in good company, that's for sure. Mm-hmm. You know, Curry, of course, in the NBA right now, and so a great start to this young man's career. We've seen a few freshmen in this Space Coast Challenge that have been very, very impressive in their beginning careers, and he is certainly one of them.
Isn't that cool, though, to see the first games of players' careers?
Yeah.
I mean, Zach Edey was just incredible for Purdue last night. P.J. Hall for Clemson. Can't wait to watch those guys match up in the championship game. 8:30 Eastern here on CBS Sports Network. Title tilt, Space Coast Challenge in Melbourne.
Notice
Javian
the double
Davis.
team. Notice the double team. Now, what are you going to do? Are you going to get a 3 out of it? You are, and an offensive rebound. That was well done by Mississippi State because they are facing double teams in the post quite a lot in this game, and your post players have to recognize it and make good passes out and then swing the ball to the opposite side of the floor, ideally.
Nice foul basket, Matthews. Dobbs drives in. Looking for Rode. Cameron Matthews' first field goal of the game. 10 to shoot for Liberty. Dobbs, the Minnesotan, handles up top. McGhee, 5 to shoot. Trying to get by Matthews. McGhee, the pump fake, the lean in. Not this time. And fouled the miss and almost got the rebound. That was an incredible effort.
They got 5-on-4 right here. Davis is not an outside shooter, number 2. He's a post player. Cameron Matthews is the guy who needs to get out to the perimeter a little bit, number 4.
Smith has not been active in the second half and commits the offensive foul. Drake Dobbs, the freshman guard, gets position and draws the charge on Tolu Smith. Timeout in Melbourne, Florida. Flames by 10.
Liberty up 10. What do you do when the post is double teamed? Let's show two things. Right here, the double team comes. Davis dribbles out, reverses the ball. They get a clean shot, but then offensive rebound. Good. That's the way to do it. Right here, the double team in the post, no way to dribble out. He forces it. He should have thrown the ball back out, and an offensive charge. So two ways to handle double teams when the ball comes inside. One is going to be productive. One is not going to be productive.
Smith, coach, has been pretty quiet. Tolu Smith, that is, of Mississippi State in the second half. The question is why?
Well, they're double teaming him like we're talking about, and, he's just not getting the ball back out. He's determined to score inside. The double teams have been more effective in the second half than they were in the first half because they're coming sooner. In the first half, they were waiting for him to put the ball on the floor. Now they're double teaming him on the catch.
8 to shoot for Dobbs, freshman. Kicks into the corner. Preston shot rattles out, has the rebound. Looking for the stick back. That was Rhodes shooting in the corner. And a fresh 20 here for Liberty.
Preston is doing a very, very good job on the offensive glass. He has improved Liberty's number of possessions a great deal.
Handles Parker, can't finish on the runner off the glass. Everything but the bucket there for Chris Parker. Pretty spectacular ball handling. The Bulldogs try to take advantage. Stewart Jr. transition lefty free throw line jumper for 2.
Give a little credit to Cameron Matthews. I mean, he handled the ball on the wing, didn't overdo it, felt that DJ was coming, and got the ball to him in a place where he could do something with it.
Stewart Jr. has 17. Lead cut to 8. Foul call baseline.
Let's take a look at this. Here he is. He's 6'8". Notice his eyes looking to the left. He feels DJ Stewart coming, gets it to him. Nice little transition play there. This guy's a well-educated player. Howland is very, very impressed with his defense and his IQ.
Shiloh Robinson nails a long 3. The inbounds play set up for Shiloh, and the sophomore knocks down a triple from deep, and the lead's back to 11 for the Flames.
You know, it's interesting that they take so many threes, but it's not just one guy or two guys. I mean, every single player on the team is capable of making threes. And when you have that, that is extremely difficult to guard.
14 threes in the game tonight. They averaged 7.5 a game last year. The 30-win team. Robinson a hand on a baseline. It is back to Liberty.
So the proverbial green light is on for every guy on Liberty's team. I mean, if they're open for threes and they have a good feel for it, and it's coming out of the offense, they are free to let it fly.
5 different Liberty players, Bob, have a 3. 6 have tried one tonight. So you're right. It's going up tonight from long range.
You know, frequently we talk about Richie McKay and Virginia, and the style of play is similar and all that. And Virginia has 2 transfers that were hot from 3 yesterday in their win. Hauser and Murphy, one from Rice and one from Marquette. And both of those guys shot the lights out. So when you have solid players, and but you have to have the 3-point shooting. And McKay has it for the Atlantic Sun team this year. There's no doubt about that.
Preston undercut by Stewart Jr. Picks up his 2nd foul a moment ago for Mississippi State. 5 team fouls, Bulldogs second half. McGhee on the handle here. Great pass on the move. Robinson up for the hammer, but a foul on a do. And Shiloh Robinson went for the posterizing dunk. Instead will shoot 2 free throws for Liberty.
This is an excellent pass right here. I mean, good vision on the pass, and Shiloh going in strong. I mean, he's got some ups right here. Both guys are right at the rim.
Second foul on Abdul Adu. Robinson missed the first free throw. One more coming up here for the sophomore for Liberty. Kearney, Nebraska native. But out to Lynchburg, Virginia to play college basketball in the A-Sun. Hits the second. Robinson, 34 games last year. About 11 minutes a game, but the role is going to drastically change this year with all the new players for the Flames.
And that's part of playing in a preseason tournament like this. You know, you get to play a couple of games, two days in a row, and the coach gets a feel a little bit of the new players especially. And we have so much turnover in college basketball now with the transfer portal and guys moving from one school to another, and in addition to freshmen that come in. So playing in a two-game tournament early in the year like this is very, very important for all kinds of teams. And as you mentioned before, Liberty is replacing 4 starters who won 30 games last year. So very, very important for them to get these players feeling one another a little bit.
Now, a moment ago, Coach picked up his second foul. 9 to shoot. Smith can't knock it down from long range. And McDowell, defensive glass for Liberty.
They have 4 guys on the defensive glass almost every single time, and 1 guy challenging the shot. They crowd the lane, so all the big players from Mississippi State find themselves playing in traffic when they get the ball. You know, it's not like they can make a post move and have nobody near them. They have to deal with their man and other players as well. Right here, see the double team coming? And everybody else floods in the lane. So even though they have the double team, nothing happens.
Jalen Johnson knifing through traffic for Smith, who lays it in. The and one. Tolu Smith finally active again. Left low block for Mississippi State. A much-needed chance for a three-point play here for the Bulldogs.
You were right about that. And the ball is trapped along the sideline. Looks like it's going to be a turnover. But the nice little pass in there by Johnson. And that's the first touch that Tolu Smith has had in quite a while, where he's just one-on-one with his own guy. And when he's like that, he can score.
16 for Smith. Stewart Jr. with 17 tonight to lead the way for the Bulldogs. But a missed free throw. So emblematic of their loss last night here in Game 2 to Clemson.
How about Rode bringing the ball up? Right here. McGhee is on the bench right now. Parker is number 1, is the point guard. Lots of high screen and rolls in this offense.
8 to shoot. Chris Parker left to the paint. Do the double team. Good feed. Layup. Perfect execution. Half court. Preston has the finish for Liberty.
Oh, that was a beautiful, beautiful play by Parker. That is a guy who has played some college basketball. Trapped along the baseline in the bounce pass into the post.
DJ Stewart Jr. nails a long 3. Much needed for the Bulldogs. His first three-pointer of the game. He's up to 20 points.
Let's take a look at this beautiful pass along the baseline right here. Parker's going in. He gets double-teamed on the baseline. Bounce pass. Finish. That is a thing of beauty.
Tomorrow, 7:30 Eastern, join the Inside College Football crew to keep you updated on everything happening around the nation. Deliver the top headlines of the day right here on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. First college football playoff poll revealed this week, Coach. Some surprises, especially if you might be a fan of those Cougars in Provo, Utah. BYU 14th, undefeated with. I have a Heisman vote right now. My vote would be for Zach Wilson, the great quarterback of BYU. So I think that was interesting in week 1 for sure.
Yeah, and a lot of people were talking about that, and of course, you know, he's and they can't help who they play. You know, usually the justification for ranking a team a little bit down the line is because of who they play, and they can't help that.
I was shocked by that. Absolutely shocked. In the era of COVID, with so much shuffling in the schedule, I mean, to penalize BYU for being undefeated is kind of outrageous in my mind. McDowell hit his 3 blocked in the corner. And the Bulldogs on the move. Chance for the three-point play. Adu running the floor well. And Adu chance for the three-point play here for the Bulldogs.
Now he's handling the ball from pretty far out, and nobody takes the charge there, which they should have. Preston was in position. He might have been able to, but he was in the restricted arc, so probably he did the right thing and just letting him go. You know, the problem for Mississippi State, their style of play where they don't make any threes, they are not a team that can spurt. So when they get behind 10 or 11 points, it's very hard for them to come back. I mean, they are a possession for possession type team. They're getting fewer shots than their opponent frequently. So if they're doing that, you know, they've got to be extremely efficient at the offensive end, and they haven't been in the 2 nights that we have seen them here.
10 points for Adu, third double-figure score for Mississippi State, and the lead at 6 here. Big stage of the game, plenty of time here in Melbourne, Florida. Consolation game, Space Coast Challenge. Kick into the corner for Elijah Cuffee. The southpaw 3, he's slinging it here tonight. Give him 5 threes in the game.
Wow, that is unusual for him. I mean, he's a very good player, but making 5 threes in a game. I mean, the problem now is you're trying to extend your defense if you're the Bulldogs, and with a team that everybody shoots threes and they all handle the ball, I mean, it's going to be tough for them down the stretch in a game like this.
Tying his career high, Elijah Cuffee for triples. In tight, look at Abdul. Adu, elevate, and hammer for Mississippi State with a response for the Bulldogs.
Well, here you go, though. I mean, that's a spectacular play, and you can tell in your voice. But at the other end, we had a 3, which wasn't spectacular, but a lot more effective. 1 extra point. So the contrast in style dramatic as we're watching this game.
I like the point, though. Maybe I should elevate the voice more for the threes. I love calling threes, too, especially Cuffee. Be up top thinking long-range shot. And some physical contact on the rebound as Smith is knocked down, foul on Liberty.
Let's take a look at right here. The drive and penetration, he's going to look to his right. He is wide open because people are helping. So the 3 happens, and that happens frequently. At the other end, this is spectacular, but still, it's 3 points versus 2 points. And when you are making a bunch of threes in a game, it's hard to get, 15 dunks.
5 threes for Cuffee. Adu the big hammer a moment ago. That ties a career best for triples, 2018 against Georgia State. Physical play down low, a B, and Tolu Smith, and the foul will be on a B here at Liberty.
Well, Cuffee last night had 5 points. He's got 17 points in this one. But we're seeing some distribution of offense for Liberty. I mean, they are not a one-man show by any stretch of the imagination. They have balance within their personnel, and they have balance of inside and outside, but they are certainly more of an outside shooting than an inside scoring team. They're not much of a post-up team. Most of their shots that come in the paint are off of drives by small players, actually. So a very interesting style that is working wonders for Richie McKay at Liberty.
Smith hits 2. Give Tolu Smith 18. And 6 of 8 from the line. What a change that is. A foul, by the way, coach, was on a B, his 4th, so he's out for now for Liberty. And the lead is 5 here for the Flames.
Yeah. Mississippi State's defense is keeping them in the game. They're battling hard. This happened last night to them also. They battled hard against Clemson in the late stages.
Throw the kick out. McGhee up top, long 3. You better believe it for Liberty. Darius McGhee. He has got 5 threes. Elijah Cuffee, he has got 5 triples in this game tonight. How about the long-range shooting for the Flames?
Yeah, it's been awesome, and they're doing it against a team that's a good defensive team. This is distance shooting right here. I mean, he's like 7 feet beyond the line, and he practices that shot from out there. So it's not unusual to see him take one from very, very deep.
The line was extended last year. It's not going to bother him. That's clear. Smith, other end, left wing 3 for Smith, the freshman. Answers. That's back to a 5-point game.
Plenty of time left for the Bulldogs to get it, but they got to do it at this end. And when you're extending your defense, you're susceptible to the drive by number 2 and number 1. The quick little guards can take you into the paint.
Cuffee. Right low block, Road into the corner. Parker hits in the corner for 3 for Liberty. Yet another 3 ball. Make it 17 made threes tonight for the Liberty Flames ball.
That is a Space Coast Challenge record. The ball movement. This is beautiful, unselfish basketball. modern day basketball. Threes flying.
Time now for the Adventist Health play of the game. The freshman pretty impressive here for Mississippi State, Bob.
Defense, the name of the game. Freshman doing it. A nice spin move. More of that is going to be required of him during the SEC season.
Davon Smith, that was sweet. I'm not sure what's better, the move or his shoes. Those Nikes are awesome. I'm a fan. Wow. I mean,
I'll get you a pair of those.
Will you? Okay.
Sure.
Christmas
What size
coming
are
up.
you?
If you don't mind, 10. Thank
Okay.
you. I appreciate it. I'll be watching. Davon Smith on the bounce for Tolu Smith. Smith to Smith. That worked out perfectly for Mississippi State.
That was a setup by Coach Howland. It was a post-to-post screen from block to block, and they knew exactly what they were going to do on that one.
Parker, red hot from three. 17 of the 26 field goals tonight from Liberty from beyond the arc.
That's amazing.
65%. Road back, and McGhee does it again, make it 18. Can you believe these guys?
This is schoolyard stuff, man. I am telling you. I mean, this is fun to watch, but I got to laugh about it. I mean, you talk about green light, guys feeling free to shoot threes.
6 threes for McGhee. 5 threes for Cuffee in this game tonight. Whistle and a foul called.
Smith looks like he's got a little bit of a limp there. I mean, I don't know if he's got a cramp or not.
Got a timeout.
Look at McGhee. He's the shortest guy on the floor out here, playing with the big trees. And, man, does he have radar, huh? He made 4 threes last night, and it looked like he was just kind of forcing stuff up. And tonight, the frequency with which he jacks those threes is amazing.
Listen to 5'9", 150, Bob. I mean,
5'9",
he's just incredible. Stewart Jr., the miss. Look who's got that rebound and controls it. McGhee on cue.
Yeah, and McGee's playing the 2 spot. With Parker here, Parker's doing most of the ball handling. So McGhee can run off screens, and guys set screens for him. He can drift along the 3-point line when Parker penetrates and just spot up.
Road up top. Back cut Parker. Stewart Jr., good recovery. 8 to shoot here for Liberty. Up top Road launches a deep 3. Well, that's about the only thing that didn't go down tonight from long range, but a foul call. Adu and Preston coming together, battling for position on the rebound.
You know, when you take long threes and there's only one guy in there and his man rebounding instead of several guys because everybody's out guarding the 3-point line, it's easier to get offensive rebounds. And Preston does a good job of being in the right place at the right time.
3rd foul, coach, on Adu. And 17th foul on Mississippi State second half, so 1-1 coming up here for Blake Preston of Liberty. 13 minutes against Purdue. First game here last night. 4 points, 2 of 3 shooting. Missed all 3 free throws.
He's from Charlotte, North Carolina, and they look like the team to beat in the Atlantic Sun. I know the preseason poll has Lipscomb ahead of them, but I'll tell you what, I've been impressed watching them 2 days in a row.
Preston double figures in this game. This is the second free throw. He's got 11. So 4 Flames, 10-plus points against the Bulldogs tonight. B.J. Stewart Jr. knocked out of bounds, and 22 to shoot here for Mississippi State.
It seemed like just 30 seconds ago when you said that it was a 5-point game, and all of a sudden it's a 10-point game.
49% three-point shooting will do it.
Yeah,
every
exactly.
time.
You got that right.
Rich McKay. Smith, front iron miss from 10 feet. And Cuffee the defensive rebound for Liberty. School record, by the way, Coach. 18 threes made here tonight. How about that?
Wow. And last year they had a team that won 30 games. So it's going to be a good season for Liberty.
McGhee trying to add to the total. Will do so. Make it 19 threes. Give McGhee 7 triples in the game. And the lead expands to 13 for Liberty. Incredible long-range shoot. Adu in tight corners finishes for Mississippi State. Foul call. Tolu Smith at the timeline.
Fouls on number 35, Tolu Smith.
No, I was thinking when he made that last three, and we were talking about the school record, and he's kind of off balance on this one, actually. I mean, his right foot goes way out in front of him, and he makes it anyway. It made me think that I wonder what it would be like if there were fans in the arena when this was going on. You know, how enthusiastic that would be, and what a big, not that there's anything wrong with it now, but I mean, if this place was packed, if people were watching and experiencing this performance by McGhee, that would be more people enjoying it in person. You know what I'm saying?
Totally agree.
Yep.
And due to safety, no fans allowed at the Space Coast Challenge this year. Hopefully the event will return. Triple Crown Sports would like to have the Cancun Challenge return. That was the original event that has just been a great mainstay on CBS Sports Network and early season college basketball tournament with great teams. 8 teams, men and women last year, 2 divisions. This year moved to Melbourne and reduced to just the men and 4 teams, but we've enjoyed having the broadcast on CBS Sports Network. Purdue-Clemson championship game to follow tonight, 8:30 Eastern time. McGhee, by the way, has now hit 7 threes. That's a new career high. He had 6 against Florida Gulf Coast back in 2019. So, historic night for Liberty from long range for sure. Road corner trying to add to it, not this time. Matthews for Johnson, 4-3.
Three-pointer, James
Timeout.
Johnson.
We'll take a break for half a minute and be right back to Titan Fieldhouse in Melbourne, Florida.
Darius McGhee, 5'9", 150 pounds, slender, shoots from deep, all over the court. Check that one out. You got to guard this guy when he gets off the butts. Deep threes, quick release. I mean, he has unbelievable range, and of course, 9 threes tonight for him.
Just incredible. What a game. 7 of 11 from 3, 8 of 12 overall in the field goal. It's a new career best for McGhee from beyond the arc. Led the team last year with 68 made threes and shot 35% from the arc, beyond the arc in his first 2 years as a Flame.
You know, it's great that he's got 7, but the team's got 19. So he's obviously not the only guy who's making them. They got a bunch of guys making 5.
More to come. Purdue-Clemson championship game. Can't wait. P.J. Hall, Zach Edey head-to-head. Edey at 7'4", the tallest player in Purdue history. P.J. Hall, one of the top recruits nationally, best player in South Carolina in high school, Greenville-Spartanburg area last year. They were both just outstanding in their career debuts for the Tigers and Boilers last night. Timeout call, double team, and Kyle Rowe wanted to make sure he avoided a turnover with 51.3 to go in regulation.
Timeout, Liberty.
So Zach Edey last night, Bob, was fun to watch. Near perfect in his first game. And you and I watched the YouTube interviews in Melbourne. He seemed very matter-of-fact about how well he played.
This was his first touch as a college basketball player. And then he gets an offensive rebound way out of his range. He had 5 dunks in this game, but also showed a soft touch like that one. And, I mean, he after the game, he was all smiles. And Travion Williams, who is the all-Big Ten player, first-team selection on his team, is the other post player, was giving him a big hug and congratulating him on how well he did. So the continuation of the big man at Purdue is certainly going to be in evidence this year. And in the past, Harms and Isaac Haas shared that position with Williams as well. So this year it's going to be Zach Edey. That is definitely a name to know in college basketball in the first 2 days of the season.
I thought it was interesting last night. You see the banner here, Space Coast Challenge in Melbourne and Titan Fieldhouse, Eastern Florida State College. When you said, okay, let's watch him shoot a free throw. And then he made the free throw and completed the three-point play. So as we're watching him play for the first time, you and I, we're checking boxes. It's the footwork, it's the strength, it's the basketball IQ on that lob play, waited for it to hit the rim, and then realized then he could grab it. I mean, he didn't play seriously basketball at all until he got to IMG Academy in Florida and played 3 years there, right?
Yeah.
It's amazing.
his progress is amazing. And let's give some credit also to the Purdue coaching staff. And, because he wasn't a 5-star prospect or anything like that. So they've done a very, very good job of working with him. And I mean, obviously, he has a great deal of talent, too. But, it blossomed in that game last night. And it'll be interesting to see what happens today against a different level of competition. And, will he play? Is he thinking too much now? Is he I certainly don't think he's cocky or anything like that, but it'll be interesting to see what he does in the second day of a tournament. Now he's going to be with Travion also in this game, and it'll be interesting to see whether they play at the same time at all. So far, last night, Matt Painter only never had them in together.
Parker, it's 2. How about that open court speed for Chris Parker? Fouled there by Matthews a moment ago. Lead 11. Maybe we'll see Amir Sims play a few more minutes tonight for Clemson. He was saddled with foul trouble. Had 2 early in the first minute of a game last night. Sat out the entire first half. Didn't play much. 8 minutes, 1 for 5 shooting for the All-ACC preseason pick. No fouls here from Mississippi State. It's been a while. Look at that. 67-68 since they began a season 0-2, and it looks like Ben Howland's going to have to wait at least one more game to win career victory number 500.
They came, lost twice. They got a lot of work to do. There's no doubt about that. Defensively, they got a lot of work to do, and offensively, they got to get a little bit more used to one another.
Shot clock violation, voluntarily taken there by Liberty. Final moments for Richie McKay's team, about to win their first of the year. So Stuart Smith, that's Tolu Smith for Mississippi State, each 20 points to lead the way. But the big story tonight, Stewart Jr. dribbles it out. 3-point shooting from Liberty. They hit 19 threes. And for the first time this year, the Flames are victorious. The Bulldogs begin the year 0-2 and their trip to Melbourne, Florida. Space Coast Challenge. Let's check the bracket now. Consolation game goes to Liberty. And Purdue and Clemson still to follow here on CBS Sports Network. We'll have that for you at 8:30 Eastern Time. We will crown a champion and present a trophy. Richie McKay, folks in Lynchburg happy because they've got a victory. Now for Bob Wentz and the entire crew, it's Dave Ryan saying so long for now. From here in Melbourne, Florida, at the Space Coast Challenge. See you for the championship game here on CBS Sports Network at 8:30 Eastern. It's Purdue head-to-head with Clemson. See you then.